Hey guys, welcome to Courtney's new video, newborn must-haves for all of your newborn needs.
We just had our first baby, Coleman Garrett Slight, and he is 1 month old. He's a couple days older than 1 month, but we made it through the first month and we survived, but we did have a lot of things that we probably wouldn't have survived without. So some of the things that we had that we loved, I'm going to share with you today, and hopefully that can help you out with your new baby. The first thing that we loved was we got a pack and play that has a diaper changing table and a little bassinet. And we used the bassinet for the first week or so, maybe a couple weeks, but then there's a little section in it that you can actually raise up a little bit and he can lay in it, but he's not clear down in the bottom of the pack and play. So we now have him laying in that because it's more crib-like and it's going to help transition him into being in his crib. But we really liked having that. I was able to just scoot it next to the bed by me, so when he got up at night I was able to feed him really easily, and he seemed to like it. He actually sleeps a lot better now that he's on the flat surface and not in the bassinet thing, but it was nice to have to try out and stuff, and it probably would work for many newborns. We really liked having the diaper changing part of the pack and play in the room as well for the first little while because we were tired. Didn't want to come into the nursery to change his diaper, especially in the middle of the night. We did have a little section that came with the pack and play, and it held diapers, and it would hold all the things that we needed to change his diaper, like wipes, the Desitin, just anything that we really needed. I also put baby lotion in there and stuff, so we loved our little pack and play. I think it is the Graco brand, but I'm not quite sure. I will show you a clip of it because it's too big for me to hold up personally right here. But it's been a lifesaver and we really like it, and I think we're going to enjoy it for many more years because it'll just be able to grow with him. We can take it to parks and use it for our other kids. So that would be the #1 must-have. The other thing that I really have loved is Desitin cream. He just recently has broke out in a rash, and I think it's because I have been drinking a lot of orange juice, and that has a lot of citrus in it, and I love my orange juice, so I've had a hard time giving it up. But this Desitin cream, I'm sure everyone has mentioned it and talks about it, but it has really helped with his diaper rash. It soothes him right when we put it on, and it's great. So that is another must-have. Another thing that I really liked was these little nail files, because I was terrified of using the nail clippers the first couple weeks. Their hands are so small and their fingers are tiny, and you need to clip their nails or they will scratch themselves. Even though it took a little bit longer to file his nails down than just to clip them, I loved it the first couple weeks when I was still really nervous about him and clipping his little fingers on accident. So another must-have would be Vaseline. We had a little boy, so of course with a little boy comes a circumcision, and the Vaseline helped to really soothe it. Every time we changed his diaper, we would just take a little glob and rub it around on it, and it would really help him to not be in so much pain. You could tell it really was bothering him. The doctors say that it doesn't, but how could you have that happen to you and say that that doesn't hurt for a couple days after? So the Vaseline helps soothe it and just keeps it protected from infection. So if you're having a little boy, grab some Vaseline and have it on hand. That will be a lifesaver. Another thing that we couldn't have lived without was these just plain white onesies with the long sleeves that have the little part that covers their hands. We did have mittens and I like them, but they fall off really easy, especially because they're just crazy moving their hands everywhere the first couple of weeks. So I really liked these plain white onesies, and this isn't 0 to 3 month, but we had the newborn size for him until he grew out of them, and we still use these at night sometimes. But I love that they cover his hands so that he's not scratching his face. And what's cuter than a precious little baby in a plain white onesie? It just makes them look so pure and beautiful. So grab a couple of these, they are wonderful. We had Garrett's mom come and stay with us for the first couple days that he was home, and if you have the ability to have a family friend or a family member come and stay with you for a few nights, we only had her I think for like 3 nights, it maybe was 4, but it helped so much because I would just take care of his feedings and diaper changes, and then when I was done I was exhausted, so I would just take him down to her and she would just cuddle him and love him. And I was able to rest and sleep and get some me time because it's really hard when you first have a baby and you don't have that. So I would suggest having a helper come and stay with you if you have that as a possibility. The next thing that we really thought was very nice was having a few different kinds of blankets. So we had Coleman, it is June now, but he was born May 1st. So it's beginning to be a lot warmer outside, but we still have a lot of these just normal, really soft, thick baby blankets because that's very comforting to babies and they're cute. So we have a bunch of these, but we also got some of these receiving blankets. They're a lot thinner and they're just not as heavy, so it's a lot nicer for at night when it's warm outside. We don't have air conditioning. We live in Idaho, but it still gets pretty warm in the summers, and it can overheat your baby if they have way too much blanketing on and stuff. Blanketing, I'm not sure if that's a word, but way too much covering them and too much heat going into their bodies and not being able to come out. We also have these swaddling blankets that we got, and they are even thinner than the receiving blankets that we have, so you can double them up and make them thicker and stuff, but you can just lay one layer on them and then it's just like a little bit of a sheet. I'm more comfortable, even if I'm really hot, just having a little sheet on me than a full blanket, and so I'll often just put a little piece of the swaddling blanket over Coleman so that he can feel the comfort of having a blanket and the security, but not having to have the full heavy blanket on him. We ended up getting this little basket thing a while ago to have things stored in our room, but what I've loved to use it for is I've moved it into the nursery and we just put it right next to his little changing table dresser area, and when he pees through a diaper or spits up all over his outfit and we're like changing him and stuff, we just pop his clothes in there. It's like a little mini what would you call it, clothes hamper to put in his nursery, and then just pretty much every day or every few days we'll take it down and do a load of wash with what's in there, and it's just been really nice, so it's not just like clothes are sitting out that are dirty, that are just like on his floor or whatever. We have a little box or a hamper thing that they go in, but it's not huge. Like, you don't need a huge hamper because the baby clothes are really small. So this has been a really good must-have for us when we've had him and had blowouts and other things that cause him to need a change of clothes pretty often. We also have really loved this little sponge that we got from the hospital. It is amazing. I think pretty much every hospital gives them. I've seen them on other newborn must-have videos, and I'm not sure where people live that are doing them, but I've seen a lot of them. I have loved it. It's really good for when they have cradle cap. You can use, these are really like just very flimsy, soft bristles, and then this side is just good for their whole body or just their head, whatever you want to use it on. But I love this for just massaging his little cradle cap, and it kind of gets the flakes all moved around and off of his head, so it's really nice. We've loved this little sponge. I have loved using this lotion. It is the Renew lotion from Melaleuca. Now, I'm able to access Melaleuca very easily because I live in Idaho and it is like an Idaho-based company, but you can get their stuff online. I have hated the Johnson's baby lotion. To me, it's watery and it doesn't hold moisture into his skin at all. So it's very wasteful because I'm putting it on 24/7 trying to keep his skin moisturized. But with this Renew, I just have to put it on, and he's good for like the whole day, even probably the next day, but I still put it on every morning just because I like the way that it is and it smells and it's just really nice. So I definitely recommend a nice higher quality lotion than just the typical Johnson's brand, but if you want to get this, you will not regret it. It is amazing. I love it for myself too. So Another great lifesaver and newborn must-have would be hydrogen peroxide, and my awesome aunt made this for me, and it's, oh, I don't think it'll focus, but our nursery and Coleman's kind of theme that we had for him was superheroes, so this has a little superhero stain remover thing that she put on it, but it's just hydrogen peroxide and it works for every stain. Like, we've had blowouts that I just have not gotten around to cleaning right away, and I just spray this on if I know I'm not going to be able to clean it right away. Spray it on his clothes, kind of like rub them together to kind of get the stain worked out a little bit, and then just throw them in the laundry basket, and then when I put them in the wash, I don't have to do anything else. It's a lot cheaper than a lot of those stain sprays that you can get, but it's awesome. Like, we've used this pretty much every time he's had a blowout, and none of his clothes, most of them have white in them. None of them you can even tell had poop on them at all. So we love this. Thank you, Aunt Jenny. Okay, so this item is actually more of one of Garrett's favorite must-haves, but I've liked it too. So this is our bottle warmer, and I have been feeding him with my breast milk, but I don't nurse because he has some issues in his mouth, a bubble palate, that make it really painful for him to nurse right now. So I have to wait till he has grown a little bit and his mouth has changed shapes. So we've been using this bottle warmer, and it's really awesome. You just pour some water into this area right here, about 2 cups, and then it just sits in there, and then when you have a bottle, you just get it ready, pop it in there, and then turn the timer on, because you can't warm breast milk, or you shouldn't warm breast milk in the microwave because it can damage some of the proteins in it and stuff. So this way it just warms the water, and then the bottle sits in this area in the warm water, and it has a timer, and it warms it up in like 5 minutes. At least when he was only drinking like 2 ounces. He's drinking 4 now, and it still warms it pretty good in about 5 minutes, but you can put it on for longer. But Garrett has loved this because he's done a majority of the bottle feeding while I go and pump. So it's been great to have, and he would absolutely recommend this. We also have a Rockaroo swing. It's by the company 4Moms, and I know a lot of people have the Mamaroo swing. It's like the even nicer version of it. Garrett's sister has that, and she's loved that for her kids, but we have the Rockaroo, and it doesn't have as many settings, but it does work really well, and we have really enjoyed that as a swing. It's a lot smaller than a lot of the swings out there, so it only takes up a small space in our living room, and it's really easy to move around. We haven't had to move it around really at all, but we do like to put him in there when we're downstairs and trying to eat, because that's where our kitchen and living room is at. So it's been really nice, and I will show an image of it so that you can see kind of what I'm talking about, but it's really great. I really like that swing. The next thing is one that was made for me, and my cousin made it, and it is a little blanket slash thing. I don't really know what to call it, but it goes into their car seat, and the buckles come out, and then it has like a little hood on it, and then like if you were to turn a blanket to be a diamond, it's kind of like that. So it has the 2 like longer parts of the blanket and then one down at his feet, and you can just kind of wrap him up after he's buckled in, and then there's just a blanket in your car seat, and it has been so nice. We love it. She made it cute, little superhero like fabric and stuff, but we have loved that. So I will also show a little clip of that and what it looks like when it's undone and just in the car seat, and then also what it looks like when we have him wrapped up in it in his car seat. It's been a lifesaver. We have absolutely loved that. And the last thing that I would say is a definite must-have would be these little zip-up sleepers. So this is also in 0 to 3 month. We had a bunch in newborn size, but I just already put his newborn clothes away because he grew out of them so quickly. But this one specifically, I got this at Target, and the reason I wanted to show this one is because it zips up from the bottom. So how would I show this? So most zip-up sleepers you pull down right here and it unzips, right? But this one, the zipper is at the bottom of his feet, so we can zip it up, get his little feet out, and change his diaper without even having to like wake him up at night, and that has been amazing. So we have absolutely loved this little zip up thing and a lot of the other zip up little sleepers that we've got. It makes things a lot easier, especially at night. So that is it for our newborn must-haves that I would recommend to each of you. And I just thought I would bring Coleman in to say goodbye. So we will talk to you in my next video. Bye! Oh, that was good. That was a good end, wasn't it? He just keeps going, and so it messes up my video. Rage, get, you're making my camera shake.